podcast. Not sure what episode this is, but we in this thing. And we have a familiar voice, but we didn't get to see the face because season one, I was getting acclimated with audio and all this stuff, but we have cameras now. We done boosted up. We done came a long way. But we have Zerian in the building. How you feeling? How you feeling?
I feel great, blessed for sure.
Thank you for coming back.
Yeah, thank you for
season 3. And we're gonna get this ball rolling. Go ahead with these icebreaker questions. First question we have for you: what have you learned since COVID?
Since COVID?
Yeah. While we're still in it. But what have you learned the most?
Oh man, what have I learned the most since COVID?
Yes.
Don't give up.
Ooh.
Stay focused.
Okay. I need to hear that.
Yeah.
I need to hear that. I did. Okay, so don't give up and stay focused.
For sure.
Question number 2. It's going to be a little easy. What's your favorite color and why?
Man, green, definitely. And not just any green, but it has to be like the olive green, like that army green.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why that one?
I don't know. It's just always gravitated. I've always loved green.
Okay.
But that color, as I've matured, has just gravitated towards me. So, yeah. I love that color.
So military olive green.
Yep,
perfect.
Military olive green.
Okay, and I don't think you got this question. When was the last time you did something for the first time? Did you get that question?
I don't think I got that question.
Well, let's go ahead and go run with it then. When was the last time you did something for the first time?
I've actually had a lot of firsts over these past few months, so I'm trying to see what the latest one was.
Just pick out just one good one.
Man, my fiance took me on a helicopter ride for my birthday around the city.
Wow.
And that was definitely my first time ever being in a helicopter. But that was beautiful for sure.
Did you ever see the city from that,
Yeah,
that
from that perspective.
Yeah.
Not too high up, you know what I'm saying? It was definitely a beautiful time. And with it being around my birthday, it gave me a lot of time to reflect and also just see the city that I grew up in from a different angle, especially with how much it's grown. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's awesome.
It's grown a whole lot. I've been here all my life, 37 years, and downtown did not look like downtown.
Man.
You got the new Fifth and Broad, you got to say it Broad now, like it's not
For
Broadway.
Sure. For sure.
All these party buses. This has been a lot going on.
Yeah.
So, okay, so helicopter ride.
Yeah,
Well, let's
great.
go ahead and dive into this topic. Season 3 we running deep. Like it's deep because we're gonna start talking about things that we don't talk about as a culture. And the reason why I picked this topic out is because it was on your page. I saw it on my page. I shared it, and I was like, dang. So that must have hit home, and I had to write it down because I didn't want to misquote the saying. But it says, people are dying of depression, but can't tell anyone because y'all gossip about them instead of helping. So the topic is going to be about mental health, depression, and the hush hush about it. Why we got to hush hush about it versus reaching out and getting help.
Ooh.
So
that question has many layers.
it does. So we're going to actually break it down. So for you, when you shared that, let's talk about how you felt like behind that post, and then I'll share what I felt behind that post.
Oh, man. When I first read that post, I think I connected to it because I feel like, especially in our community,
right.
The Black community, talking about mental health, it's kind of shunned upon. You're perceived as weak, and typically what happens is we tell such and such about such and such, and the next thing you know,
Man,
everybody knows. Everybody in the family knows, so... when I read it, I was like, man, there's so much truth, but I thought it was funny because I could also relate to it.
Okay.
Not that the situation itself is entirely funny, but sometimes you have to find humor in those moments too.
Right. And for me, when I read that, I had to share because I was just like, that is what I get with my clients. They don't like to talk about things because they get talked about or they get called crazy or they be like, oh, you all right, you good. Ain't nothing wrong with you. So when I open up the space for people to be safe, to have a safe space to speak, it's just like everything just gets just like they just throwing up everything.
Oh man, I can
only
relate to that too.
Only like an hour, and I'm just like, it's not enough time, So we got to find things throughout between a session in your life
Mm-hmm.
to help with the depression. Because with COVID, mental, man, it's been a whole journey.
It's been a huge mental decline, or should I say, a mental awakening.
Ooh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I say both. So let's dive into the mental awakening. Let's talk about that first.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I definitely believe that this past year, almost going on 2 years now, has been such a challenge for the social norms and the mental norms. You know, everything that we do as a culture within this, you know, I guess these subcultures within our entirety of culture of America.
Right.
You know, man, so much has been exposed. So much has been exposed, and I think people were left with feeling, you know, depression,
Yes.
anxiety, fear, and they didn't have answers as to why they
None.
felt their way. And because they had so much time to be alone and really sit and reflect, you know, it put them in a whole different state. Now I feel like everyone coming out of COVID are, in a way, trying to figure out who they really are.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, who they are, why are they here, what do they want to do, what connects you, you know, to certain things. This is why you're seeing so many businesses come out of the past year. It's like madness right now, and I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? To each his own with the entrepreneurship, you know.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel like that's a result of that. People are figuring themselves out.
Yeah. And it's actually opening up people's eyes. It's kind of like, I don't need to work for corporate because I can work from home. And then when you get to work from home, you start being able to actually have time to do other stuff that you're passionate about. And then you post it, and people are like, oh, I didn't know you did this. Because we didn't have time
Yeah.
to really, you know, put it out there what we did. And so now everybody's calling you to do. I got people that's in construction. I didn't know it was in construction, doing steps, building houses. I'm like, bruh, we went to school together. You didn't? Yeah, I didn't have time.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to really pop off, you
Yeah.
know. And then now they're blowing up and people leaving their jobs. I was one that left.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. I was one, and I'm just like, man. But then that was a little a mental decline. So let's talk about the mental decline aspect of it. When it comes to the pandemic and when it comes to trying to find yourself, like, what's your thoughts about that?
My thoughts are that it's inevitable.
Oh man, so there's no way around.
There's no way around that. You're gonna have to walk through that for sure.
Man.
I mean, it happens. I think your best thing to do is to understand that is what's happening.
Okay.
When it's happening, instead of trying to fight it and, you know, feel a certain way about how you're feeling in that present moment. It's okay to feel lost.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's going to go through that in multiple times within their life. That's a whole portion of growth, you know.
Exactly.
And we went through something very, very serious over the past year. So I'm sure that that's put so many people in a very, very deep reflective, you know, state. But
yeah.
I think that, you know, experiencing depression, first you have to determine where the origin of that depression is from. You know, is it something that is in relation to your nurturing? Is it something that is in relation to what you're doing right now presently, or what you are not doing right now presently? Meaning, if you wanted to work a certain job or be in a certain field or be a music artist or rapper, or just follow your dreams, do something that you're passionate about, you know. Not doing that could make you feel depressed. Or is it something that is, you know, within you that you cannot control?
Oh, wow.
You know, because that is a thing too. You know, is it a form, a deformity, you know, of some sort? You have to figure that out. So I would advise people that are experiencing that to go through the proper channels to figure that out.
Yep.
And then once you get to where the origin is, start to work it out, you know. I think most of the depression that we've experienced as a collective over the past year and a half to 2 years has been really a state of sadness for the world, you know. And I think that how we view each other as humans, as a society, you know, it's been sad. It's sad to see, you know, a lot of people feel certain ways about a certain thing, and you have another group of people that feel the complete opposite way about something, and both groups literally want to kill each other. over such a difference, and not that it's a small difference, it's a big difference, but it's almost as if we can no longer coexist on the same plane. If you don't have my same viewpoints, I got to kick you off the island.
The whole
for
island. Sure. You got to go.
So I think that a lot of people are realizing that their viewpoints are not commonly shared, in such a widespread form. I mean, obviously we've always had some sense of turmoil, but this is different.
It's very different. It's like something out of a movie. Different.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I would have never thought that this would happen for a whole country to be shut down, and then people go through so much. But then when you look up, are there any resources? Where can I get help? Well, because we were raised to not talk about things and hush, 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 we don't even know the first thing to do but Google mental health near me. That's the thing everybody be doing on Google, stuff near me, restaurants near me.
For sure.
And so then you got all this slew of people, and you're like, who do I even go to? Who do I even, pick? I got to read reviews, and it's just, that right there is already a lot. So if you was to give advice to somebody who is struggling with their mental, on how to find that person that can probably help them. Because a lot of times in our culture, we don't like to talk to a psychologist. We don't want to talk to nobody. Why? Because we don't be laying on this couch and they don't really know us, and it feels weird, and people going to think I'm crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So what advice would you give somebody who wants to find a person to help?
Man, that's such a broad question. Because I feel like, honestly, it really does depend on who you are. Some people might not feel like they can rely on certain type of individuals. More so what I mean is this person a male? Is this person a female? Is this a black male? For anyone, I would say that, your first step is to find out who those are closest to you are in that specific moment, who you feel comfortable being vulnerable with. Ooh. And opening up that conversation with them and letting them know what's going on your head. And key in on being vulnerable. You're not going to feel strong in that moment, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? You have to be comfortable with the individual that you're sharing that information with. If you do not have anyone to share that information with on hand, there are hotlines that you can call. If it's that dire of a situation, there are hotlines that you can call to find someone to talk to in that moment.
Right.
Trained professionals who can help walk you through what you are feeling, what you are experiencing, and help bring you down to some sort of an equilibrium. Yes. That way you can make it on to the next step, which is actually finding more permanent help, seeing your own therapist, et cetera, if you're just caught up in that moment.
Right.
My fiance really, really hits hard with providing people with resources, pertaining to mental health. If you're having that type of emergency, she's extremely passionate about that, for sure. So I would say definitely do that. But, if you don't have anyone that you necessarily feel close to in that moment, and you have to resort to using a hotline, I would also, once you get to a point of equilibrium where everything is okay, ask yourself why that is. Because that's a very, 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 very deep question that I feel like a lot of people really need to sit down and actually ask. Why don't I have more people that are close to me that I could actually have that conversation with? Is it me? That may be the case. You may have a problem with being vulnerable. You may have an attachment to pride. And not allowing yourself to be in the slumps of what you're actually in. At some point, that's just being in denial of the situation. It's okay if you're not feeling top notch. It's okay if you're feeling depressed. You know what I'm saying? And not in every situation do you also need someone to help get you out. But in the case that you do and there is no one there, you should ask yourself why that is. Maybe you need to work on being a little bit more vulnerable. To attract those individuals, or open up to who's already there,
right?
Especially as men.
Yeah. Ooh, I was finna. You segue.
Is that what you're about to ask?
Yes. When it comes to men, and then also too when it comes to that over masculine woman.
Yeah.
Because me. And far as being you're too tough. Why you gonna sit there and talk to somebody about your problems besides being talked about? Because this was the post. When it comes to a male being open, being vulnerable? Like, let's talk about it. Why? For one, that's it's gonna be a two-part question. We already know why, but now that you're older, why is it still we still hold on to? We got to be tough. We can't cry. We can't talk about our problems because we got to be tough.
Man, because habits are hard to break.
Ooh-wee.
Habits like that, they're
Oh.
hard to break. You know,
Yeah.
those are things that were typically instilled in us as kids.
Oh, baby, it go back. Yeah.
Yeah, it goes way back. You grew up with that mindset.
Yeah.
You know, and so to change that all of a sudden, now that you're getting older, not that you don't have the power, you absolutely do. But
Yeah.
you know, the realistic point of view is that's a hard thing to break.
Yeah.
Very, very, very difficult. So I would say that's definitely one of the reasons.
Okay.
It's uncomfortable
Ooh.
to be vulnerable with
Mm-mm.
another man. It is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It is perceived as weakness.
Yes.
You know, it's
Man.
need I say more about
no, I get
about
it.
the perception?
I get it.
You
Yeah.
know, so I think that kind of leads the interaction when someone has the desire to be vulnerable with another man, and why it stops right there
Right.
because of that fear, you know.
Runs
But
deep.
I also feel like in today's time, you know, there's a lot more men that are opening up and comfortable
Yeah.
being in that relationship with another man, being vulnerable with another man, with your brothers. You know, it's very, very important. I think as we continue to grow, specifically in our culture, as we
Yes.
continue to grow, we are less on the, you know, oh man, that's my enemy, that's my op.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No, we can't do it. It's more of the, oh, that's my brother over there. Oh, and my brother's over there getting it too. Oh, let's link up. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Let's continue to grow and to build together. We're no longer tearing each other apart. That's not cool anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just not cool. It's lame. So I feel like as more people are gravitating towards that tip, specifically in our community, and as men, you're starting to see a lot more collaborations.
Yeah.
You're starting to see a lot more open dialogue, open conversations. Even when you look on media, one of my favorite podcasts that I watch, man, it's called I Am Athlete. Man, and it's such a
Yeah, I listen to that
beautiful podcast. It's such a beautiful podcast. If I'm butchering the name, I apologize. I'm pretty sure it's I Am Athlete.
Okay.
though.
Okay.
But man, Chad Ochocinco's on there. Brandon Marshall's on there. And the other two gentlemen, man, I apologize because I didn't quite grow with you, so I don't know your names.
Okay.
But they have such deep dialogue as men on that podcast, as black men, 4 black men.
Okay.
You know, 2 of the 4 are married.
Okay.
You know, and just seeing the dynamic of that as a young
about-
black
oh,
man,
yeah,
oh
yeah.
man, that's so beautiful, man. It's heartwarming. It makes you feel strong. It makes you feel good.
Mhm.
You know, we definitely need more of that. You know, but we're
yeah.
getting there.
It's slowly happening. It's slowly happening, and I'm gonna speak for the females out there that get that masculine side so tied up that you don't even know how to be a female anymore. You out here in sweatpants and t-shirts every day, like literally working 5-6 jobs, and I believe it's growing up having your mom always tell you don't need nobody. You can do this by yourself. Independent women started, was a thing. I don't need no man. You da 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 da. And so now it's kind of like a snowball effect, right? And so now we're raising our daughters to be like that, and our granddaughters to be like that, and then we're forgetting how to be women, how to be sexy. And then on top of that, social media has put such a dark light on being sexy. Now we can't wear certain things because now we're looking like a hoe, and that
Sheesh.
now you can't walk out the house because now you feeling uncomfortable with what you got on because everybody's looking at you.
Yeah.
Either that eye of lust or that eye of what the hell she got on.
Yeah.
And so we just in that ping pong state, like, damn. So what do we do? How do we even act? So we only know how to act. Wear these sweatpants and t-shirts and get out here and grind like a dude in real life.
Man.
So it's just the whole thing of not only our family but social media, and then ourselves, getting to ourselves like, this one cute for me, and then self-confidence. We've lacked that, and I see a lot of that happening in my Reiki sessions where the sacral chakra of sexuality is blocked. And the main thing out of all of my clients, 200 some of my clients, maybe 3 have not been molested. So trauma
Interesting.
has blocked a lot of that being, want to be open, want to be sexy. Now we're trying to, in our 40s, trying to learn how to be a woman again.
Yeah.
Because we've held on so much to the masculine side.
How many clients that did you say?
Out of 210, maybe 3 have not.
Wow.
Maybe 3. Right.
And maybe.
Maybe 3.
And
you
maybe.
know, because they may not have known that that's what that was. Like somebody coming on to them
Yeah.
like an uncle. They may not, but it's like, well, no, I never been, molested like that or abused like that. Okay. You probably didn't know. But yeah, 3.
Sheesh.
3. And like I said, and it's still subconsciously affecting us to today. And every now and again, sometimes I'm actually trying to work on shadow work because that's one piece I need to work on because my masculine is still trying to fight, but I still want to be feminine. So I was like again, the ping pong effect. So for women, that's why. So trying to talk about stuff and depression and stuff like that we go through, especially raising kids, it's hard. Especially if you got these girlfriends that chit chat and gossip.
Yeah.
Like you said, trying to find that person that really like. Can I talk to you? And then all the homegirls ain't gonna know. The homies ain't gonna know. Oh, yeah, girl, I got you. Soon as we hang up.
Yeah.
Girl, guess what happened to feed? But that dude again, that girl again. No, it is something different. What? And then now they looking at you weird when we link up for drinks or going out to eat. Yeah. You looking at me like this? And we heard you talk. It's a whole thing. So you know what? Let's just be quiet. So now your throat chakra fucked up because you don't want to talk to your friends no more.
True.
You know. And so then people are trying to find new ways. Okay, I don't want to talk to family. I don't want to talk to friends. I really don't want to be laying on somebody's couch. Spirituality near me. Like everybody's been doing that. And then Reiki is coming into effect. So for you, how do you deal with stress? A lot of people are tapping into the spirituality part, but other people are still hanging with religion and things like that. And that's good. Whatever makes you feel good, just go for it. So with you, with having your own business, we'll get into that a little bit later. We have our ups and downs. So what do you do to keep your sanity, to keep you from, not being so masculine we don't want to talk about it, but at the same time too, knowing that hey, I don't want to. I'm angry today, or I don't feel good today, or this happened today, or I have no clients today. Going home and dealing with that.
Man, really good question. Really good question. I have multiple answers for this question, and they definitely go in layers. I would say that the root of this for me is going to the gym, and it always has been. That's my default. That is like my meditation. I'm not going to the gym to look a certain way. That's dead. I'm going to the gym for my mental health. I'm going to the gym because it is the time, probably the only time during the day that I truly have to just myself and my music, and everything that I do in that space is for me. It's a mental restoration time. That's exactly how I view it. And typically during that time, I am having the best time that I will have within that whole entire day. You know what I'm saying? It does take a while before you get to that point of looking at it in that light, but that's definitely one thing for me. So that does help me regulate emotions and, kind of figure things out. I have a lot of epiphanies in the gym. Sometimes I'll sit there, man. I'll read at the gym. I won't work out. What? I'll sit on the stair stepper, and I guess that's technically working out, but it's not.
So
like
not like you really in there like going for
exactly.
it. Exactly.
Okay. I'll be on the stair stepper, and I'll have my book, and I'll just read. Or go sit in a sauna and read. The gym, you don't always have to go work out at the gym. Most of these gyms nowadays are lounges.
It's like a coffee shop.
It truly is, though. You know what I'm saying? Most gyms, go to all of the big box gyms. I guarantee you'll go in there, you'll see the main gym floor, the amenities or whatnot, but then you'll see the smoothie shop. They got some tables laid out. You'll see a couple bench areas where you can just go chill. You can go post up, That it's really actually a good environment to be in for sure. So I definitely love that. That's my number one. Number two, and I've had this longer than number one. And what's interesting about number two is that I'm just now coming into realization a lot of what that has done for me as I've grown up. And that's gaming. For me, gaming has always been a way for me to escape what is going on and just be present in what I'm doing in that moment and not in my head.
Okay.
Always.
Okay.
If I had family issues growing up, I'm locking myself in the computer room and I am jumping on the video game. That doesn't mean I wasn't outside playing. I was doing that too.
Yeah.
But it offered me an immersive world with friends whom I can be vulnerable with and talk to.
Oh, wow. All over the world.
All over the world. I had friends all over the world growing up, and I had such deep dialogue with them about what I was experiencing at the time, my depression, my anxiety, what was going on with my family, what was going on within myself, all of this online. Now, from the outside looking in, you're just like, oh man, they don't never go outside. They always on the phone. They always on the computer. They ain't gonna never be nothing. They a lame. They a dork. They're just sitting there on the computer, not realizing what's really going on behind that screen.
It was really good.
You know what I'm saying? I'm advancing more than you behind this screen because I'm actually doing the work with individuals all over the country, all over the world, actually having the dialogue. You know what I'm saying? So that's always been an element for me. And I think as I've gotten older and found the right relationship, I am comfortable with all aspects of me.
Okay.
And so going back to that, I realized that was just something that I've always gravitated to, and it has helped me out a lot. And I don't necessarily want to rid that from my life. I enjoy that. There's very few things on this earth that when you do them, you truly enjoy them through and through.
Yeah.
You enjoy every minute of it, whether you're winning, whether you're losing, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? For me, that is one of the things. So I've decided that I wanted to keep that in my life for sure. The third thing and final thing, and I put this third because not everyone has this in their life just yet. So, if you're single out there, just be patient. It's coming. My third one is my fiance, because the dialogue that we have,
I can only imagine.
Oh,
I can only listen. Maria, the sweetest, and the thing, man, the sets that you used to have at the house.
Oh man,
man, it make you think. Yeah. Man, it make you just go ahead. I mean, okay, I can only imagine. You just need to put a camera up. Y'all need to have just put a camera up and just go, and then post that on. It'll be the best YouTube ever.
I said that. We've had a few conversations about doing that for sure, but she's definitely my number 3, but really my number 1. And that's just because we have so much dialogue. We really do get nitty and gritty about what we are experiencing in present day, what emotions that are still messing with us in present day. And we have it in a very vulnerable setting with no judgment. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I've never had communication quite like this in a relationship.
Dang, that's hard to find in a relationship.
Yeah, it is.
So hard, because that'd be the main thing: communication and money. It'll be main 2 things that make people get divorced.
Man, absolutely.
Communication and money and finances.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Definitely so. Communication, you can get through a lot of humps, man. A lot of humps.
Just talking about it.
Yep.
Just talking about it. And if it doesn't make sense, and you have that part that's connected, they'll make it make sense.
Oh,
Is this what you're trying to say? Yeah, yep, that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, cool, I got you.
Yep.
And versus just sitting there looking at you like, what? whatever, and brushing it off. Like, actually having a conversation, trying to break each other's thoughts down.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Thoughts, emotions, all of it.
Man,
all of it.
Everything.
Yeah, all of it.
For me, because I went through, it's crazy because I didn't even know it was depression a few weeks ago. But then when I said it, you was like, damn, I was depressed for a whole week. It was actually in July.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about the business. And I went into the masculine side. Didn't want to talk about it. Didn't tell Charlie. I didn't tell my daughter. I didn't tell my mom. I just held it for a whole, actually 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. But
I started to change. So everybody was like, what's wrong with you? You don't look you good? Coming in the house, the whole energy is shifting because I'm trying my best to still smile, but deep down, I'm thinking about the business. I'm thinking about the people that I see every day and how I can get the word out more to help people.
Mm-hmm.
And it started to get me to the point where I started emotionally eating, picking up weight. And I'm just like, and when you notice when your cute pants don't fit no more,
Tragic.
you be like, What's going on? You know, when your belly beads get too tight, you know, you like, okay, something gotta give. And I'm constantly crying here, getting my life together to go home.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have to do that. I have a great partner. I have a great Jaleese. Man, both of them together gets me together. But for some odd reason, I went into myself.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you know what? I can't talk to nobody about this. Let me just deal with it here, swipe it off, and then go home.
And why did you do that?
Because I went back to reverted back to being when I was smaller. When my mom like, we're tough. You know, we independent. We got this. And then I didn't want to burden them with what I had going on. So let me try to analyze it within myself, but it wasn't working. Because every time I would go in Walmart, I get lemon cake. Every time I go in Walmart, I get a Snicker bar. And I would actually sneak and eat it and throw the trash away before I get home.
Yeah.
She don't know this, but yeah.
That's hilarious.
I would, because I was like, but then I was just like, I couldn't really hide my energy. Because with a person that's a partner that's so connected, she was knowing, but she was like, I'm not going to force it out of you. Eventually, I know she said eventually she'll come to me. And I did. And I broke down. Y'all cried and everything in the house. Like, broke down. Like, I just felt like I couldn't. Like, why? Nothing she said, nothing she did. It was just me, myself. I was in my own way.
You have an amazing partner, by the way.
I do. And like I said, she didn't do nothing to make me not talk to her. That's what I'm saying. Like, so it was me. I got it my own way. And tried to deal with it by myself, and clearly it wasn't working because I was eating wrong. I even had chicken.
Oh,
I know. I know. I was just like, okay. That's why I did my detox the first week of August. I was like, no, you cannot do this because the only thing you're doing, thinking about the problem, is just eating. What is that gonna do? Make you feel good for the 30 seconds you eating this candy bar, or it wasn't working. So I had to find ways. Number one, like you said, talking. So that was my first thing. And then asking for Reiki sessions from her. That was the second thing. And then just enjoying what I already have. Being grateful. Being grateful. Because I was just like thinking about what I didn't have. Or what I could possibly lose. And it had me fucked up in the head.
Sheesh.
I know. I know. And not that nobody would talk about me. It was just that I just got in my own way.
Yeah.
When it came to that aspect of it.
Sometimes you can be your own worst enemy. For sure. I know. I'm certainly mine.
And let's actually segue. Tell the people what you do, because I know you sprinkled a little bit on them, and then plug in Maria and what she does, and how can they find you on social media?
Well, I'm a personal trainer. I specialize in life coaching, I guess you could say that, because that's more so what I think of my work.
The best edit there is.
I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. I'm also a realtor as well.
Okay.
So, I help people secure their homes, facilitate that whole experience for them, make sure everything goes, smoothly. But personal training is definitely my main thing. I have a huge passion for helping people figure things out. And often when people come to me for personal training, they think it's just going to be on a physical level. They think it's just purely aesthetics. It normally starts off like this. Hey, I want to come to you because I want to lose 10 pounds by 2 weeks.
Whoa.
Let's make it happen.
Wait a minute.
Then they actually get with me. We have those first few conversations, and we break it down, and they realize, oh, no, this is actually going to be a process. Not just to get to your aesthetic goals, but we really break down why.
Yeah.
Why is it important for you, to get to this? Do you even really want to be that way, or is it something else that's really influencing you? What is pushing you to this right now? Let's actually figure that out.
Oh, wow.
We would call that your why.
Okay.
Why?
Okay.
It's important. It's super important.
You need to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Why?
Golly.
Why? Or why do you want to come in here and gain muscle? Just simply why?
Yeah.
Just why? Because when people break it down, they realize it's a lot deeper than what they think. For sure, it's a lot deeper than losing the 10 pounds within. Well, yeah, for sure.
Make them think.
It's a lot more than just losing that 10 pounds within that 2 weeks. It's deeper than that, for sure. So, throughout our time together, we get pretty personal. We have very deep dialogue. I love getting to know my clients. I love figuring out how they work, what major events in their life has influenced them and their decisions. How did they end up here if they're that in that bad of a state? Or a lot of times I have clients that are in great situations and in great health, and they simply want to be around me for the energy and for the motivation.
Wow.
I also think of it like helping someone set the foundation for their life.
Okay.
A lot of entrepreneurs, people that are in high corporate positions, et cetera, that, they have some things going on, for themselves, or maybe it's just a family man who has kids and wants to go, home and be the best dad that he could ever be. If that's your goal, when you come to me, I'm going to make sure that I'm pouring all the energy I can into you so you can go home and be the best dad that you can be, or you can go be the best corporate man or corporate woman that you can be, or the best businessman or businesswoman that you can be. Because it really does start on that foundational level of actually putting back into yourself, and that can be done at the gym. So that's kind of how I ended up there. My fiance co-ops with me. She's a personal trainer as well. But she's also a mental health activist, for sure.
Yes.
And she's getting her master's right now in social working, has another master's in international psychology. Damn.
Yes. Come on.
And she's done a lot of work in that field, for sure. So she's really big on mental health and really helping you break down things step by step to help you get to your goals, for sure.
And she's on season 2. So, go back, Maria. Look her up, and because I think she had the most views.
Oh, word? That's dope.
Yeah, from that season, because we talked about mental health.
Yeah,
it was deep.
Yeah, I watched it. That was a pretty powerful episode, for sure.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
Deep. Yep. So how can they find you?
Yeah. My bad.
You're like, okay, so they're ready to write this stuff down. Here y'all go.
Right. My website is www. Y'all remember when that was a new thing?
You had to say the www.
www. Nah, just go to zenfinitetraining.com.
Okay.
Zenfinite Training is the brand name. You can find me on Instagram. It's z.is.zen, z.is.zen. Or just look me up, Zerian Williams. It's crazy when you go online. It's kind of weird in a way. If you just Google my name,
it pops up.
All that shit pops up.
Facebook and everything.
Everything.
Wow.
Like my businesses, like different articles that I've been, like all of that stuff pops up.
It links up.
It does, and it's just because my online presence has been there, for years. It's kind of creepy in a way.
A personal trainer.
Man, I started personal training back in 2013. Yeah, I started my whole fitness journey back in 2011. So it has been quite some time.
Oh, my goodness. It's been a ride.
Yeah, it's been a while. I started personal training when I was in college.
Okay.
And I did not have the thought process of doing this, with my life when I got my license. I was just trying to get a free gym membership, and the dude said that he could help me get my license. And I was like, okay, let's do it. Yeah, exactly. And then I ended up enjoying the field.
He's like, trying to get a free membership.
That's exactly what it was. I shit you not. I was home for summer break, and I was trying to get a membership for that summer and not have to pay. And Planet Fitness is just not what's up with me. So,
True. But we actually, me, Sarah, Angelise have worked out with you before.
Yep, y'all have.
And results. If you're looking for results, he is the guy. You gonna come out limping and be sore, but it's worth it.
Ooh, can we speak on the results for a minute?
But let's speak on the results, please, because because you're so passionate about what you do, you're so serious about what you do, that you want to see people progress, you're going to get the results, period. Like, this is not for the play. Don't come in here trying to, thinking, okay, the 10 pounds is deeper, because we do have talk. Sometimes we've been in the gym after the gym.
Yeah.
Could be talking.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the results.
For like hours. I think a lot of times when people come into something such as personal training, everyone's looking for the results. No one asks what the results actually are. And how do you know? How do you know what you're looking at if you don't have the experience that we have as trainers? Not every trainer is the same, by the way, but I'll put it in a scenario. When you come into a personal trainer and they give you that program and you're working through that program with them, when you're spending that time and they're help pushing you, at some point your progress is going to be determined by many things.
Yeah.
One, your mental progress.
That's it. Yeah.
Your mental fortitude. How are you handling these challenges that now, as opposed to a week or 2 weeks ago? Are you still complaining? You know, or do you have a stronger mindset? That's progress.
It's mental, yeah.
That is progress that happens through that constant repetition of hitting that edge, right? And a lot of times it may be an emotional progress. I have clients break down on me, and we have to really sit and dig into what it is that's eating away at them at that specific moment. A lot of times they haven't even figured it out, but I leave such an open, vulnerable space. You know, you're more receptive to sharing those emotions. You know, that is progress, right? Then of course you have your aesthetic process, your aesthetic progress. You're losing weight, losing inches. That always comes. It comes through the form of consistency and doing the right things. The mental progress and the emotional progress are much more important than the physical progress. Much more important. So I just encourage people, when they go through and they look at a personal trainer, unless you're already in the field and you know, you already have those habits established. You just want more education physically on what you could be doing. Most of the clients aren't that. Most of the clients have not adapted a fitness lifestyle, and they have a hard time doing it, and that's why they find me. The reason you have a hard time doing it is because 9 times out of 10, you have worse habits that are taking up the space for the good habits. And you haven't broken down why it is that way. So when you come to a trainer, we're going to help you break down why that is and help you move on from that, so you could actually start implementing these things into your life on your own without us.
Okay, because you wanted them to go beyond the gym.
I want to change your life.
Oh, wow.
I don't want you to, I don't care about the people that just want to, and this is no offense. I mean, everybody has their things, and there's trainers out there for you.
Yeah.
I don't care about the people that want to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks.
Okay.
I don't. I care about the people that are more so into the life transformations.
Yes.
I want to be better. I want to do more. I want to be the best father. I want to go and be the best corporate man. I want to be the best businesswoman. I want to have the best podcast. I want to live my passion. I want to do whatever it is that you want to do. I want to work with you because you're passionate about it. You know, that's just such a surface layer thing of just wanting to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks. That is so surface level.
Oh, yeah, it's not just scratching. It's barely even scratching.
It barely. But a lot of people, that's simply what they want. And for me, I just get no fulfillment working with that.
Right.
I don't, you know.
That's deep. That's real. That's real. And a lot of people, they come in, like you said, come in the gym, be like, A, B, C. You like, no, we're going to go A to Z. We're going to do everything from top to bottom because, again, why? Your why.
Yeah.
It's with everything. And we know your why. You're passionate behind, why you are a personal trainer, especially when it comes to homes, too, and why, helping people get that aspect of it. And let's tap into the business. Your entrepreneur. How to keep, those depression thoughts to come up, or that, it's because with Jim, I'm going to tell you, I fell off every now and again. January, February, March.
You was booming.
Listen, every day. Something happens in the summertime, close, and so with that, it kind of affects your business and how you flow. So how do you stay mentally strong when, clients fall off, or having that business is not doing as good as it was January, February, March? How do you deal with those moments?
One, having the overall understanding of how the industry goes.
Okay.
Knowing when those dead months typically are and when the hot months typically are, and knowing where you are when you are having those hot months. Knowing that, all right, these next 3 months is going to be hot. This is typically the hot months. I need to make sure I put some extra money away because I know in 6 months it's going to be a little cold.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm anticipating that. That's a chess move.
Wow.
But in all reality, you make those moves because they relieve your anxiety. They relieve your stress. and you know that you're going to be straight. If you know you're going to be straight, you can take that L for a little period and build it right back up, and then you keep going. But then I also focus on client retention.
Okay.
Really, really big on client retention, making sure that the clients get optimal experiences, making sure that they get good workouts or good conversations, just good energy.
To come back.
Yeah, making sure that my responses are prompt, you know, and making sure that I'm paying good attention to them when I'm with them.
Okay.
You know, I think that goes a long way, because a lot of people, they end up gravitating towards you as a trainer as opposed to what you know. So if you have that personal relationship with someone, 9 times out of 10, they're not leaving you.
No.
They're not leaving you. They're going to stay with you. Even if they leave for 2-3 months. I had clients leave for 2-3 years. And they came back, yo, Z, you know, it's time. You know, I know I done fell off, you know.
Yeah, but I'm ready.
And my door is always open.
Oh.
You know, so I leave. If we had a good experience together, you know, and you just fell off, whatever, my door is always open. I always welcome it when people come back, always, because it might be the time. It might be the time. But I would say, you know, as far as stress management, you know, and being in this space that I'm in now, honestly, I'm learning just as you are, because I've never, you know, I want to say a year ago, we did this podcast, maybe a little over a year ago, somewhere around there.
It was right, a little bit over a year, because it was right when Corona was starting. That was your topic.
It was, yep.
Yeah, you talked about that.
Yep, and I want to say around that time, it was still just me. I didn't have other trainers.
No, it was by yourself. Yeah, you was by yourself.
Yeah. Now I have 3 other trainers at a whole different facility, and so the things that I'm experiencing, the stress that I'm experiencing is just different. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still learning and growing and dealing with that every single day, you know, but I know that I only want to be better. So when I have those hiccups, I'm excited, because I'm like, oh, I'm going through this in this moment. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to grow. I'm going to become better. I'm only going in that direction. I refuse to go any other way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's only going to make me a better leader. It's only going to make me a better businessman, better personal trainer, better, you know, fiance, husband, everything, all the trials and tribulations, you know.
It's worth it.
But yeah, proper planning, man. If you're an entrepreneur, you know, have proper planning. You know, make sure to check in, you know, check in with your taxes, have an accountant, have a plan, figure out what you're going to do with the money. If you're working, you know, for yourself and you have no business plan, you are your own employee.
Exactly.
And that's not a good thing to be. You are clocking in and clocking out and using all of the money that you're making to suffice your life. That's not why you get in to do business. You know what I'm saying? Or let me say, everyone does, you know. I try not to be so critical on what you should and should not do. Everyone does what they want to do. If you want to, you know, be your own employee and that brings you, you know, fulfillment, do you, boo-boo?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, do you know, but the smart way, the smart approach to entrepreneurship is to build something sustainable so you can step away from it and it can still do its own thing without you.
Yep.
You know, so yeah.
Keep the ball rolling.
Yeah.
You're making money in your sleep, or you're making money, you know, you're not as with that time, putting so much time into it, and you're still making a lot. So a lot of times, when it comes to entrepreneurs and pricing and things like that, I get stressed out about having to I got to raise my price. I give myself a raise.
Yep.
You know, because now I'm adding a little bit more time to the, you know, to the services, or I'm adding something else to the services. But it all has to come back full circle, because again, I don't want the mental stress of how am I gonna pay this. Can I employ somebody? Because it all, having a whole business by yourself, it's hard. It really is. But it can be the easiest thing if you plan properly. You know, have another person who can relate, having their own business you can talk to. Yo, what the fuck? let me just vent real quick, and then come back, and then y'all can bounce ideas off of each other.
Yep.
You know, and like I said, with so many people that start their own business, do it right.
Yeah.
So you won't have the stress of IRS doing this.
Man.
And coming to your mail, through your mail, talk about A, B, C, and D.
Because they will, and they'll be ruthless.
They don't care.
They don't care.
Don't care. Don't care. Make sure your paperwork is in order.
Man.
Make sure all of that. And then what I have been doing to keep me sane besides talking to my partner and opening up and not being so masculine when it comes to that, is I've been finding stuff like podcasts to look at, things on YouTube. Hindsight. It's my guy. My guy, Hindsight. He's on YouTube. He's been really helping me get through a lot of stuff, especially trusting myself. When it comes to loving myself, when it comes to starting something. Now, I got to be got to have everything prepared. Just do it. Be vulnerable. Be open to when you actually on my on channels and YouTube and things like that. Another one I've been watching is Abraham Hicks. You been watching her?
I've not seen that.
Oh boy, I'm about to send you some stuff. But she's been like really helping, and I meditate with her almost every night. Me and Sarai, we do that with Lyric. And just basically finding other things to pull from versus the news and the media and social media and getting off Facebook and being in Scroll City, like just scrolling. No, I've been turning that off and focusing on people who can actually feed my mental
it's
versus
important.
having to taking it. Yeah, taking it away.
Maria was just telling me yesterday, because we're getting ready to start another cleanse. And during that time, I want to supply people with a lot of information and content that, kind of just help reset the brain.
Okay.
And she brought that up yesterday. She was just saying, it's so important, for the moderation of things that you take in, not just from a food perspective, but from a media perspective as well. What you're watching, what you're listening to, what you're consuming, it does impact you.
Yes.
It does. So you have to be careful. At least make sure that you ingest things that are good for you or actually helping you, proceed forward for sure.
Because with social media and in the news and things like that, it will have you out here scared, ready to have a bunker underneath your house,
man,
ready to run.
And we run off energy. So if you allow that to change your energy into a scared, frantic energy, that's all you're gonna attract.
Exactly.
That's it.
It's gonna bring so much other stuff, sicknesses and diseases and things like that. So we've been doing like a lot of different, things as far as watching different. And then when it comes to Abraham Hicks, feeling your way through what you want. People like to manifest, I want a car, I want a house, and then it's not happening. You like, what's happening? You're stressed out because now you asked for something and it didn't happen. Well, the thing about it is we had to realize that, me and Sarai had to realize that when it comes to asking for what you want, it's not the item, it's the feeling behind it. What do you getting that car, getting that house, how's it gonna make you feel? Okay, happiness. Okay, focus on that feeling. And then once you elevate, because the universe doesn't speak a language, it speaks vibrations, vibrate to happiness, joy, and peace so that you can align up with what you want, not asking for what you want. So when she said, I said, I have to have a whole mental breakdown, like, okay, boom, 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 boom. I need to relearn because this lady's talking about something totally different, feeling your way through life and being in the present moment. Don't try to think too far out because the world is abundant. We can have anything that we want. The thing about it is we actually are asking without the feeling behind it. And then we looking like, okay, where's my car? Where's my house? It's not going to come because you doubted it after you asked for it. Okay? You doubted it after you asked for it. So it's like feeling your way. So being in the present moment, being happy, be excited, having that whole mood of, I'm grateful for what I have now.
Yeah.
So that more room can be open for other stuff to come.
Yeah.
So we've been having to break down our minds and rethink a lot of shit.
It's important.
Yeah.
It must be done. I believe I said at the beginning, as you're going through things, you're always going to hit that down bump of depression. Not that that is quite depression, but you know what I'm saying? You're always going to hit moments where you have to readjust, relearn, grow. If you're not, just stagnant.
Stagnant. And I tell all my clients all the time, we get comfortable in this little bitty box. We would try to put a pillow in that joint. We try to put a blanket in it. Knowing these 4 walls in this box is not enough room for you. And we will try to adjust. But then we start to grow or try to grow. We stunt our growth because we stuck up in this box. And you have to climb out and actually do things differently because you'll be stuck and stagnant in this box. That you done put a whole pillow in, some blankets, and you got trying to get comfortable, but it's not going. The universe doesn't want you to be comfortable. So that's why it gives you things. You go through mental things. You overthink, you overanalyze. And then you're like, dang, what's really going on? Okay, do something different to adjust, to make your mind think, like, oh, shoot, we can do something different.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, this is cool.
Yeah.
All right, more stuff is opening up for us to have. Okay. But then, again, we're in a bigger box trying to get comfortable. It's a lesson, it's a progress.
It is.
You have to figure it out and keep moving.
Yep.
And that's the only thing about it. Don't give up. I've been seeing a lot of 222s, 333s, 1010s about not giving up. And so, yeah. The universe is trying to tell us something, y'all.
Be resilient.
Well, this has been amazing. I'm glad you came back. But before we head out of here, any last minute comments, concerns, anything you want to tell the people before we get it up out of here today?
Man. Nah, I can't really think of anything too specific. I'm always wishing, for the best for everybody, peace, love, and prosperity.
Yeah.
You know, if you need someone to talk to, specifically if you're a man and you feel like you just absolutely don't have anybody, regardless of what it is, what
Some
you're
people
going
think that
through,
they don't have nobody.
that is true.
Yeah.
Please feel free to reach out to me. My Instagram is z.is.zen. And I'm definitely open to the dialogue if you need that assistance. If you feel like you're battling with something and you need the perspective of a fellow man, but you're afraid of what that man might think or what that man might say, or just you're just uncomfortable being vulnerable, period.
Right.
Feel free to hit me up. I'm definitely here, all ears. I would love to help.
Wow. That's so dope that you open your doors. Zerian, how long have I been doing? 3 years? It'll be 3 years in September.
Yeah, it's been about 3 years.
3 years in September because I mean, Charlie.
That's crazy.
I know. And the thing about Zerian, I'm gonna plug this in real quick because I had to. It's on my spirit to say this. Zerian is serious. When he say my door is open, you can reach out to me, and he will respond. He will help, because the stories that Soraya and I exchange, you always come up as a positive aspect of her and who she is today. And I have learned so much from you. Like, number one, I can have my own business and be successful. Oh, okay. But I didn't have my own business. I was doing certain things like with bartending, but like my passion, you was the guy that I looked up to.
Wow.
And it amazes me how over time we've grown together, and I've learned so much from you, being on season 1, being on season 2, being over to the house, trying new things. You make people think because you ask those questions. I wish you had those sets again. We probably don't have time. But to get over and just chill and relax and be comfortable, because you do open up the space and you do make everybody feel safe enough to be able to, like, talk about spirituality and not look crazy, or talk about how you feel and you're not judging. Because he'll pull that whiteboard out with that marker in a minute, and he breaks stuff down so to the point like, that makes sense. Okay. And you're going to always leave with something to hold on to. And I appreciate you for everything that you've done, for not giving up, for having your own business, and being a man that keeps going regardless. Because a lot of stuff has happened in these 3 years that I've known you.
Yeah, it's been a lot. But
you still have that smile. You still keep going. And you still, in the positivity 101, this guy. Like, through the roof.
I appreciate that.
And I just want to let you know that, you're the man.
But we can say the same thing about you, Fee. We really can. Like, I can say the same thing about Soraya too. I really do. I believe that it's truly the people that you gravitate around and that you allow within your space. I only wanted positive, reaffirming energy around me.
Okay.
And when me and Soraya first started doing this whole thing, we were reconstructing. That's why certain people they couldn't stay. It just didn't fit the mold, and it doesn't mean that they weren't worthy enough or that they couldn't do it. It just means that what they were battling in that moment of time, they had to go through that alone. Now that they went through that, they may come back. That door is always open. But when we sat down and we did that, we really reconstructed our lives, starting within ourselves. We changed our energy, and we only allow people to gravitate towards us who were on the same page or receptive of it, because if you're knocking us off of our square, that prevents us from getting where we're going.
What you said.
You know what I'm saying? So I could say the same thing about you, Fee. I really, really can. And Soraya, you both have helped me tremendously, in the conversations that You guys are getting things from me.
Yeah.
I'm getting things from you. It's a, you know what I'm saying?
Ping pong thing. It's
It
like we
is.
helping each other through it
It
all.
is, and it's a blessing when you have relationships like that. It truly is, because that is how you consistently climb. When both of you are consistently growing and able to bounce ideas and concepts and feelings, and it's not always good things, it's bad things too, but you're able to express that within each other and continue growing and prospering. Man, those relationships are the best. Not every relationship is that way. Sometimes you have to pour a little bit more into that person's cup than they can pour in yours in that moment, and that is completely okay as long as they don't start taking advantage. But yeah, absolutely, man. Y'all have been beautiful to have around me in my life. It truly, 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 truly. It's crazy Soraya says that, because I say that about Soraya. Like her not being in my life, this does not happen. This does not happen, because she was there in some very, very important moments where our heads were supposed to be together to figure some things out, to ask each other questions that made each other think, to figure things out. For sure. So I think that the landscape of things would look so different had her and I not developed the friendship that we had. Which is also crazy too, because Soraya is my sister's best friend. Like, it wasn't even my friend. Like, I didn't know Soraya like that. It's just as I naturally got older, she would come over looking for my sister, and then we would actually have more in common in the sense of our music taste. We were both nerds, just into the same things, you know what I'm saying? So just our friendship just started gravitating, It's just crazy how things work out.
For the best.
It really is.
For the best every time. And the whole thing about meeting, because you'll start lining up. Once you start getting yourself together, you'll start lining up with the people who's supposed to be in your life.
Facts.
Who's supposed to help you through a lot of stuff that's going to happen. And meeting Soraya, who I ended up meeting you, and then Maria. I always got to say her name twice. And so it's just like a whole dynamic. I love it.
That is definitely beautiful for sure. And I will also say that, just on that note of what you just said right there, a lot of times it can feel like your world is falling apart when things are really coming together. I know a lot of people in my life right now that are experiencing this, and I always deal with it when I'm working with clients. So when you are in that moment, understand that things are just shifting. If you are still on your square, your intentions are still the same, your vision is still the same, your heart for that, your passion for that is still the same, but everything else is moving around you, it's moving for you. Stop tripping. It's completely okay. Like, it's completely okay. Just let it move. Stay on your square and stay focused, stay determined, because I promise you it's lining up for you to take off. It moves in your favor like that. I know that it seems scary. I know it seems scary. My Christian friends would call this having faith in the Lord. It is so true. It really is. It really is. So that's actually what I would leave people with right there. That's what I would leave
I
people
needed
with.
that. I needed that.
It's supposed to be there, man.
I know. Thank you. No, I'm not finna do this. But I needed that, because y'all don't like, man, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I needed that. And so I just basically accepted it. Thank you, universe. Thank you, God, because I needed it.
Yeah.
Thank
It's
you.
true. I will say this. I know we.
Don't make me cry no
This
more.
is like the third time we were about to wrap up. I know, but I have to say this story because it's a perfect example of this.
Okay.
In December,
Okay.
the day before I was supposed to bring the 3 new trainers on to work with me.
Yeah.
The day before, it was the 31st.
Okay.
The gym closed. They closed. And they didn't tell anyone. Now, I had business ventures with this gym. We were going back and forth talking about everything that we were going to do. I had an office picked out. I had, one of my trainer's classes lined up. I had everything set up. And the day before everything was supposed to push go, they told me that they would not be opening back up the next day. And they did everyone like that. So I am like everything that I had just built, the foundation that I had just built, felt like it had been swept up from up under me. I was free falling. Wow. The most scariest situation of my life. I can't tell you the amount of anxiety that I was experiencing in that moment, the amount of thoughts that were driving through me in that moment. But I stayed on my fucking square. I did not move. I knew what I wanted to do. Okay. I knew what I had built, and I knew that it could still be done with or without them. 3 days later, I had another gym working another deal with that gym that ended up being better than the previous deal that I had worked out, and my business has since grown. That is so much. That is so awesome. So much. I went from starting this year of 2021, from January 1st, I had no place to train. I had no venue to train out of, especially for the amount of clients that I had accumulated at that time. Right. Dang. 3 days into it, I had a venue, and we've been growing nonstop ever since. So I promise you, if you just stay on your square, you stay focused, you stay dedicated, all of the rest of it is just noise. It's going to follow through. Yeah. Okay. I got to stay on my square, y'all. You do. Especially you, because you are truly a gym, for sure. For everyone, like, you're a gym. You're a safe passage, a safe haven for so many individuals that need that healing, people that are actually trying to do the work. They need you. I'm going to stay on my square then. I ain't gonna move. Some days I be ready to jump off that motherfucker and just, you know what, I'm getting a different square. Let me get into a different square. But I'm going to stay because I forgot about the story where you had, because you was calling Charlie like, oh my goodness, this what just happened. She like, what? Yeah, crazy. And then it turned around just that quick. Yeah. You may not see what's in front of y'all, but you it's coming. Yeah. So I'm right there. The unknown is so freaking scary. Yeah. That you will actually talk yourself out of. You be right there at the breakthrough, and you'll talk yourself into it and turn around. Yeah. You absolutely will. And you'll be close. So yeah. That's what's up. All right. For real this time. Until next time, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for watching, listening. Thank you again, Zerian, for coming through. I appreciate you having me. And until next time, love and light. Take it easy. Deuce, deuce.